Because let's say you work your absolute tail off and you make a boatload of cash, boatload of cheddar. You feel on high almighty, and then you go and get that Rolex. And you go to your first event and nobody cares. Welcome back to the Motivation Station, hosted by your boy here, the Matt Freakin Deakins. Today we are coming with an awesome message to help fuel your drive and ignite your passion today. We're going to be diving deep into the powerful force that shapes our lives. It's called desire. The goods and the bads of desire, right? So whether it's desire for material things, perfect career, or achieving your goals, there's a strong desire in this world to either be better, have more, have the perfect X, achieve Y, have a huge bank account, get closer to God, insert all those things here. There's a wealth of desire in this world. And we're going to talk about some of it today because good and bad, happy and sad, it's all of the above falls into the pit of desire. So we're going to get forward here, but first, we need to hear from our friends at ShankIt Golf. Do you like this shirt? I love this shirt. It feels so nice. It looks like pool liner. It gives me summer vibes in the middle of winter and puts a big smile on my face and gives me that calm, relaxed energy. Head over to ShankItGolf.com. You can get a shirt just like this along with a bunch of other unique golf polo shirts. I have this shirt. I have a banana shirt. And if you've tuned into this podcast, you've already seen the donut shirt. So all of those shirts are incredible. Yes, I even have the I will not three-putt head cover right here with me because guess what? I used to three-putt. I got the head cover. It reminds me not to three-putt, and I make wiser choices while I'm on the green. So head over to ShankIt Golf. There's a link below in the description. Use the code MFD15 at checkout to save 15% on your order. I appreciate it. The channel appreciates it. ShankIt Golf appreciates it, and your golf game and style will appreciate it. All right, we're back. So, what kind of prompted this whole podcast on desire. So this is Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Recording a little later than normal. I normally record on Fridays. Last Friday, the wheels weren't churned yet. The locks weren't in. I had a couple ideas, but none of them were really gelling. Went to church on Sunday, and Landon, who's the music man, the digital media manager at our church, Waterville Community Church in fine Waterville, Ohio. One of the songs played, I wrote some of the lyrics down because it touched me a little bit. It struck a chord, and I'm like, boom, that's it. Yeah, I'm finding inspiration in all kinds of places. So anyways, the song is called Daily Bread. The version I found on Fine YouTube Music was by, I think it's Carly Job and Pat Barrett. Couple of the lyrics that touched me here. And we will seek your face before we seek your hand. And we will desire you before the promised land. Okay, so why did those lyrics touch me, right? Because how many times do we seek the help before we seek his face? We seek his blessing. We seek what we're supposed to get before we actually seek him, right? Guilty of that, right? Which is why it touched me because I'm like, ooh, next level, right? We desire you. We desire you before the promised land. Sorry, stuttered there. Couldn't read my writing. We desire you before the promised land, i.e., we desire getting closer to you and being one with you before we get the fruits, the milk and honey, the land of milk and honey, as I like to call it, or they used to call it, or I go dates back to me to Winnie the Pooh when I was growing up, and there was the land of milk and honey. And then I've learned over time that the promised land is we want the amazing results, we want the huge bank account, we want the perfect career, we want the perfect spouse, we want the perfect body, we want everything. But we're desiring the results. We're always desiring the end goal, not the transformation that happens between. We're desiring the product, not the labor, right? So, Today we're, a couple notes I have here before we get into like kind of the three main places where we desire, or that I've identified as desire. Desire is a word, carries so much weight and meaning. It's the spark that ignites our dreams and the fuel that keeps us going, right? The desire for that end goal, for that shiny object, for that, that perfect result. That's what we desire. So that is the fuel that is just churning in us, is that. But along the way, there are many ways you can get off course, right? Whether it's through materials. I've got the resources, so let's just buy it. Let's just have it. Have to work for that material as if that material means more. The perfect, what was the next one I had? The perfect career. Mentioned it a couple times now, the perfect career. You think that is what you need. I need that. I want that. But what happens when you get there and it's not really what you want? What happens if you cheat the system to get there and you're like, ooh, I ain't ready? Third, your goals, whatever that goal can be. Better body, a mansion in Beverly Hills. I don't know if that is a great example right now. Let's say a villa in Scottsdale, since I like to go to Scottsdale. A villa in Scottsdale, right? The perfect spouse, the perfect home situation, all the money, right? These are things you desire. But while those are good things to desire and the intent might be positive, really, is that what we're intended to do, intended to be here for? So let's start with material things. We live in a world where we're constantly bombarded with advertisements and social media, showcasing gadgets, fashion, and luxury items. Did that pitchforks up just for you, Arizona State. Gadgets, fashion, luxury items, right? I always make a joke that I'm probably the biggest boomer in the millennial world because I don't have fancy stuff. I don't have the smart house. I don't have a Siri or an Alexa. I don't have that because there's something about turning on a light switch. There's something about setting a timer on your phone or your watch. There's just something about some of those standard practices that keeps me grounded and realize that while, yes, automation is great, yes, technology is incredible, it keeps me grounded in the, you still, that's great, but I've always said it, that type of enhanced technology, some is good, too much is bad. And it keeps people in the I don't want to do the work mindset. I'll just have someone else do that. Why should I flip a light switch on when I'll just tell Siri to turn the light on? Right? Why should I turn the temperature up in the thermostat when I can just talk to it and tell it to go to that? Right? There's a time and place for everything, right? Gadgets, fashion, luxury items. Is there ever a time for any of that? Because let's say you work your absolute tail off and you make a boatload of cash, boatload of cheddar, you feeling high almighty, and then you go and get that Rolex and you go to your first event and nobody cares. So it made you feel incredible that you went and got this fine piece so you could go there and nobody cares because that's a material that nobody really cares about except you, except the person who is driving and banking to get that. We're talking about maybe a car, right? There's themes out there now. My wife and brother and sister-in-law talk about it all the time, where there's people that have $700, $800, $900 car payments just so they could have the Escalade. Can they afford it? Their car payment's more than their rent is on their place. Preposterous, absolutely preposterous, because that's the status symbol that they have. They have to have this status symbol to prove that they are something. Is that really what we should be working for? Is that what the Creator put us on this earth for? In Mark chapter 8, 30, verse 36 says, what good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? How about that hard hitter? What is the point of having all the stuff if you have forfeited you to get it? If that is what you're rooted in, theoretically, you could call that a false god, right? A false idol, right? I know that There's not a lot of spiritual people. People find maybe spirituality or Christianity or religion kind of a sore subject with them. But the higher power, there is a higher power out there. I firmly believe it. And I sit here and say, you know what? If I get all this stuff, what does that mean? That doesn't mean much to me. Because, you know, the substance, having that physical thing isn't going to do anything for me. If I'm still the sinner, if I'm still the person who I'm not supposed to be, using that and still being the person I'm not supposed to be isn't really fulfilling my prophecy, right? All right, next we're going to talk about perfect career. Why are we going to talk about the perfect career? Many of us dream about finding that one job that fulfills us, pays well, and aligns with our passion. But the journey to finding the perfect career can be challenging and filled with obstacles. The key is to stay persistent, keep learning, and remain open to new opportunities. Remember, the perfect career isn't about the job itself, but about the growth and experiences we gain along the way. Right? It's about the growth and experiences. There's a famous phrase out there, fake it till you make it. Everybody's heard it. Is that really helping anything? Is that really making you, if faking it till you make it so that you can get a pat on the back from your boss that you're doing a good job in your perfect career that you're probably not qualified for, you're probably not set up for success with mentally, let alone physically, is that the desire here? Is the desire the status? Is the desire the paycheck? Is the desire the fact that you can get included more? Is the desire I can go to my dinner parties now and say how I'm a manager of this and puff my chest out and I'm just so good. What is that really doing? How is that helping anybody grow, let alone be contributing members of society to take care of others? Because most of the time the people who are desiring these jobs, desiring these promotions, are doing it for those things, for the paycheck, for the status, not necessarily for the growth that has to come with it. Because most of the time those promotions come with people. Now you have people under you that are in your care, that their careers are in your care, along with your career being in your care. If you care about others to get that job, and you really want that job because you want to do it for the right reasons, you're also going to care about the people that are now listed under you in an org chart. You're going to want to see them succeed. But also with them succeeding also means them getting promoted. It causes uncomfortableness within you, because then you're going to have to figure that out. Most people don't want that. They want comfort. They want the paycheck. They want the status. They don't want the growth that comes with it. Finally, we're going to talk about the desire to achieve goals, whether it's personal, professional, or health-related. Setting and achieving goals is a fundamental part of our lives. But desire alone isn't enough. We need a plan, discipline, and resilience to turn our desires into reality. A couple things you can do with that. Break your goals into smaller, manageable steps. Celebrate your progress. And don't be afraid to adjust your plan if needed. Just recently, I mentioned it prior, I've been working with a nutrition coach and fitness training, we'll call it a workout and nutrition coach, Justine. And each week, I make sure when I give my weekly update to her, I celebrate one good thing that happened this week, whether it's a change I'm seeing in my body, whether it's recovery time being good, whether it's I drank the amount of fluid and water that I needed to drink, and that was a win from last week. Celebrating something, because on this journey to achieve a goal I have, well, maybe superficial, it's still a goal that I have. If you don't celebrate the progress, you get discouraged. If you get discouraged, you find reasons to get off track. And if you get off track, you never achieve your goal. So celebration of the little things sometimes is great. Not to blow smoke up your ear, but up your rear, not ear, but rear. But you have to stop and pause and say, you know what? I did a good job this week at ... What was one of the other things I said on here? Breaking goals up to smaller, manageable steps. If your goal is this long and it's going to take a whole calendar year to do, break it up into months. And sometimes you want to break it up into quarters even. Quarters. Then you can break it up into months. Then you can break it up into weeks, right? The little bit of progress each time. Yeah, it sounds like, oh, I'm just creating a bunch of boxes to check. Guess what? If you're going through and checking a bunch of boxes, you're making a bunch of progress. As long as you are wholeheartedly putting your effort into checking those boxes, not just checking them and creating goals that are like, log into Facebook today, right? Drink 16 ounces of water, check. Right? Those are things that I'm not saying logging into Facebook is something you should do every day. But if that's on part of your goal path, if that's on part of your path, on what you're trying to do, grow a business, grow a following, etc., some of those basic little things are going to be things you have to do every day. So putting a checkbox for the basics isn't really great, because guess what? That should be every day. You should be doing the basics and doing the basics well to get your goal. For me, in my little fitness journey, in my superficial goal here of looking incredible in June at the beach, I take each day and say, you know what? These are my things I need to do today in order to get to tomorrow. And I check those boxes off. Those same things happen each day. Well, yeah, Matt, that's really repetitive. Do I really need to do that? No, you don't need to do that. I find myself being most successful when I look at each day and say, these are the things I need to do to meet that. And then each week, when you do my check-in with my coach, Justine, I look at this and say, did I do everything I needed to do each day this week, over the week, to accomplish the goal that I needed to accomplish? And if the answer to that is yes, usually, guess what? The results in the pictures and the weight show the change. If they didn't, did you do something wrong? If you didn't do anything wrong or didn't follow the plan or there was adversity that happened in the week, then guess what? It's time to, don't be afraid to adjust the plan as needed. Then it's time to adjust. If you check all the boxes, do all the things right, and the result isn't where you expected it to be, maybe it's time to change the plan, as long as it's not like 3 minutes in, right? So we've been together this is week 8 now, I believe. It's either week 7 or week 8 or week 9. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to go back and look. Each week there's been some form of progress. So my plan hasn't changed in 8 weeks because I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything right, and I'm diligent in it because this goal means something to me. It means something to the Matt Freakin Deakins, and that's the person it should matter to most. So we're going to wrap things up today. Desire is a super powerful force that can drive us to achieve great things, but we have to keep it in check. We have to keep that desire in check. You have to stay true to our values and remain focused on what truly matters. Do the materials matter? Probably not. But having some materials isn't a bad thing. Yeah, there's the old verbiage, some is good, more is better. Some is good. That's fine. End of statement. Some is good. Remain focused on what truly matters. Remember, this is not about the destination, but the journey and growth we experience along the way. While, yes, I have an end date and an end goal for my journey, for my path, for what I want, I'm growing each and every week. I'm learning something different about myself. I'm understanding where I can push and where I can't. I'm learning that if I do X, Y, and Z, X could be the result. Or A, B, and C, X could be the result. If I'm getting through my journey and I hit a point that's really, really rough, and I'm like desiring that cheeseburger, really wanting that pizza, give me that ice cream. Oh, cake, I need cake. How do I respond to that? How am I treating myself? Not literally treating with food, but treating self-talk. Am I demeaning myself? That's going to push me further away from my goals. Am I treating myself with grace and saying, you know what, Matt? You're on the right path. You're feeling this. I know this is going to be a struggle, but you can do it. And your next free meal is in X amount of time. And then we can address what we're going to have for that free meal. So it's how you take that mindset and change that desire and that end goal to what really is needed within the growth and pursuit on the journey. So today, remember, we have to stay focused on what the desire and the goal is. The desire shouldn't be the materials. The desire shouldn't be the perfect job that you think about this second. The desire should be growth. The desire should be improvement. The desire should be seeking what the goal is for you. He has a plan. The Lord has a plan for everybody. I firmly believe that. So finding out what that is for you and pushing on that path, knowing he can course correct you as needed. So don't take it into your hands. Leave it up to him. And then take the plan from him and forge forward. So that's all we're going to have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please give the channel a subscribe, the video a like, leave me a comment. I appreciate all of the support, both internally and externally. Internally meaning in the YouTube comments, externally meaning the DMs, the phone calls, the text messages. I appreciate it all. I'm trying to be better and do different things and give you value, because I want you to be the best you. And while wanting you to be the best you, I'm trying to be the best me. So take that today. Hope you have a beautiful day, and we will see you next time.